Hello. Sustainable investing is being challenged like never before. The war in Ukraine and inflation, the highest it's been for a generation, have upended the investment landscape, leading to the gloomiest global market conditions for a decade. Add in also a flurry of climate-related disasters and heightened concerns around energy security. As we look to 2023, is sustainable investing still a priority? Well, joining me is Jen Tan, Head of Sustainable Investing at Fidelity, with your outlook. What are clients telling you?
So I think what's really interesting is how the priority on sustainable investing is not going away. You can see that the ESG universe is reorienting itself through debate and development. And despite the market volatility, our clients' interest in sustainable investing continues to grow. And I think we saw a similar effect happen through the pandemic, where we thought that the focus on healthcare and the focus on vaccine delivery would make people take focus away from ESG. But again, the opposite thing happened, and actually people have doubled down on it. I think something very similar is happening now. The climate crisis is here. You couple that with energy security, and the need and demand for clean energy has never been greater. But the trade-off for the companies we invest in is how do you survive today and stay in business versus investing to decarbonize for tomorrow. And that's a transition and that's a journey that we're very keen as an asset manager to support the companies we invest in on.
A balancing act. They can't do one or the other. They've got to do both.
That's exactly right.
Let me talk to you about one aspect that perhaps isn't the most glamorous, but it is extremely important. That's regulation. Are new regulations around this area making your job easier or more difficult at times?
I think more alignment, more standardization, this is a good thing to have. But I accept that it's a harder thing to achieve in the fragmented geopolitical landscape that we live in today. The regulation is well-meaning. The regulations are primarily aimed at improving disclosure and transparency for the end client, the end consumer. But the problem is that different sets of regulations with different disclosure requirements will provoke different types of information that will make it more confusing, not more transparent for those clients. And so our role as an asset manager is to help to guide our clients through this, to help them to interpret that information correctly, all the while engaging with regulators to make sure that we're not creating unintended consequences from those regulations.
Well, information and data, the quality of that data, has been one of the key issues for ESG, ways of measuring ESG. How is that changing over the coming year, do you think?
So I'm optimistic that in 2023, we're going to see a step change in the quantity of data that's available. And you can see a lot of new mandatory regulation promoting that. So whether it's mandatory TCFD climate reporting, or the new International Sustainability Standards Board, ISSB, or the new European directive, the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, all of this will increase the quantity of information that's available. The onus is now on us as investors to make use of that information correctly and draw the right conclusions about the companies that are on a genuine transition path. Now, different topics are going to require different types of measurements. So I'll give you one example. We've been working in a pioneering field of bioacoustics to try to measure the sound production and sound variation of animals in different landscapes to understand the scale of biodiversity loss in different types of forested areas. And this will hopefully contribute to our understanding of the impact that the companies have on the environment and nature.
So having to become quite creative, actually, in how you measure the data to come up with things that are really robust.
That's right.
Now, let's finally look at your prediction for 2023 as we look at sustainable investing. Where do you think we'll be in a year's time?
So there's no doubt that sustainable investing has had a tough year, but I think that something stronger and more robust and more resilient is going to emerge at the other end of it. And we are going to have access to better tools, better analytics that will help us to integrate sustainable investing and ESG into our investment process. One thing I want to call out is the focus and the progress on nature. So COP27 was not quite the blockbuster that COP26 was, but there was a lot of positive discussion and action plans around nature recovery and nature positive movements. COP15 will provide additional impetus into that focus on nature. I expect us to be able to make more progress around how we measure that kind of risk and how do we more positively contribute to that recovery.
Well, Jen Tan, thank you very much indeed. And for a full range of Outlook 2023 material, head to fidelityinternational.com or your local Fidelity website. But that's all from us for now. From Jen and me, goodbye.